these are the key pieces that we're going to talk about in our presentation, just providing some background with regards to our OCP, the housing legislation requirements, the North Bluff Road Corridor Plan, the requirements for an updated regional context statement, and the project itself. Over a 7-month period from February to September 2025, we were engaging with the White Rock community on the conceptual update for the OCP. So we did this in phases, and we had various different engagement activities. That included 3 different open houses. We were out in the community hosting pop-up engagements to ensure that the community was aware of this ongoing process and to ask them to complete surveys, for example. We had an online survey and dedicated project webpage, which also had a question and answer component to it. In total, we had about 610 participants that were involved in one way or another engaging with us through this process. And we brought forward what we heard reports following each stage of the process so that we could report to council what we were hearing and report out to the community also what we had heard. The December 31st date, of course, is mandated in the Local Government Act to be the bylaw to be adopted by the end of 2025, the OCP update. Essentially, the risks are that if council opts not to proceed with first and second readings, at this point we would then have to reach out to the province and to Metro Vancouver to notify them that we will not be able to meet the mandated deadline. And from there, staff doesn't know exactly what would happen with that process.
The province made us open up this OCP. We've got to reflect the new housing that they stuck on us. Right? I mean, we've got to reflect all this. We've got to have our targets. We've got to make all these things. It's not optional. It's the legal requirement they've put on us.
My challenge is I don't have a lot of data to make a decision on behalf of my constituents.
They have data. They went out, they spent 7 months, they had engagement, and they came up with this very comprehensive plan.
Would you say our engagement was good? I know we did open houses, we had things at the library, we did things on weekends, we did night stuff. How would you say that we did on that?
So I think to echo what I said earlier, we did see the turnout to be a positive number as far as turnout is concerned. Our numbers increased through each sort of round of engagement, particularly with the OCP update. And again, we did put every effort into notifying the community through community-wide mail-out. We did social media boosts. We had information on our website available. So there were a number of different media mechanisms that were utilized to try to ensure that the community was at least aware that there was an engagement opportunity.
I guess a perspective from the Housing Advisory Committee. We were provided a draft copy of the OCP update, provided some input that was presented to us, and recommended that council provide an approval of it. For that reason, I feel very, very comfortable in moving forward to the next steps with this draft OCP.
I want to put forward a motion and move that council defer consideration of first and second readings of the OCP amendment and direct staff to prepare a plain language public summary that's 1 to 2 pages that clearly outlines the proposed OCP amendment, including key changes, height limits, density, land use designations.
Time will be required to prepare the documentation that's been referenced in the motion. 1 to 2 pages would be incredibly challenging to condense.
I can't imagine how we could possibly put this into a 2-pager when the report is 1,000 pages and we just did a presentation. I don't even know how many slides there were. How can you possibly fit just by saying on a 1-pager about heights and density and what's changed without giving any context as to how that's even been arrived? You don't give it context as to market analysis, what the housing targets are. You're just saying, this is the heights, the new heights, and this is the old heights. It's not an informed decision when you just give them something so basic. It's not even possible. You are doing your community a disservice by giving information that's not informative, basically. So I'm going to have to vote against this.
Also on this, Councillor Baines, is, we're elected to make these decisions. We have to read the 1,000 pages. We have to listen to what the public has brought forward, and staff brings us the reports. And that's our job. That's what we do. So now to go back and ask for it to be shortened in a summary and more work. We're under the gun, time-wise. We're just not going to make it.
We're a creature of the municipalities of the province, and the province has the bills that they are basically law, and the municipality is required to follow them. The bottom line is you have targets of about 8,000 units in the next 20 years. So the housing needs in the next 20 years. And you have to show in your OCP by December 31st how you're going to achieve this.
I don't think the province is going to goose step in here and take over our planning department. I don't think that that's that serious, that we ask for a slight delay.
I have a hard time imagining that the province would come down hard on White Rock.
All those in favor? Opposed? Councillor Chung, Mayor Knight, and Councillor Lawrence opposed. Motion carries.
West Van just got homework from Victoria. Housing Minister Ravi Kahlon says, rewrite your plans for Park Royal Taylor Way, Ambleside, and Dunderave. Add real density. Think mid-rise, mixed-use, transit-oriented, no more single-family chokehold. The clock's ticking. Park Royal plan by December 2026, and Village Core updates by September 2026. A provincial advisor even called out West Van's long history of not supporting density for scaring developers away. They have 17 months to flip the script, then thousands of new neighbors could follow.
Housing Minister Ravi Kahlon says there will be consequences if Oak Bay and West Vancouver don't pick up the pace on building new housing. They now have 30 days to convince the ministry they can get on track.
There's a lot of barriers that make it very difficult for housing to be built. We'll look at that. We'll look at the information. And if a special advisor has to be brought in, they'll look at that as well.